see. Oh, are we live? It's look at my hair. It's all frizzy and crazy. Um oh, okay, we are live now finally. Yay! But yeah, my hair is air dried. I think have you guys ever seen the TikToks where it's like I think I have curly hair. I think I might actually have curly hair if I like did stuff with it and put the little towel dried it properly, not towel dry, because you're not supposed to towel dry curly hair, but did all the things, I bet I would have like some kind of sort of curl or something going on here. But anyway, I did not do my hair for you people. Love you, but I didn't. I did put on makeup, um, because makeup makes me feel pretty. And you know that sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, because I just go with the flow. I have like 1.5 billion things to talk about today, and I know I am running late, but I have to tell you guys what happened. If you are here, say hi. If you're catching the replay, I'm just moving my notes over here. Need to make sure I have enough space. Yes, I am running well, not very late. I'm running late this morning. And I wasn't planning on it, but I got distracted. Well, not distracted. I got caught up in writing notes for this morning um, because things just like blah, 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 were pouring out. So I wanted to make sure that I touched on all of them. But also, um, I was putting on my makeup and I was like, you know what? I need a jam to like get me in the mood. Not get me in the mood, but like really raise my vibe and just like get me pumped up to do this live because doing lives with you guys now doesn't freak me out. Okay, it doesn't freak me out as much. Can y'all even hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me just jump on my phone and make sure I'm not missing comments. Um, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Hopefully you can. Let's see. Yay, okay, you can hear me. Good. So if you're here, again, say hello. If you're catching the replay, do hashtag replay. I love knowing if you guys have listened or caught it or whatever. I know 8:30 is not like the optimum time for most people, but and I thought about moving it to like Tuesday nights, but in the evening with kids and stuff, you never know what's going to come up or whatever. And I am so committed. I want to this year I'm going to show up every single week at least once live with you guys. And the best time honestly is when no one is here at my house. So you get me at 8:30 on Wednesday, but you can always watch it anytime you want. But I was telling you guys when I was putting on my makeup, I was like, I need a jam because it just feels so good to like get really pumped up before you have to go talk to people, right? And so I love, 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 love my favorite artist probably ever is Christina Aguilera. I love her. Um, yeah, it's probably my favorite artist of all time. And so I just told Google to please don't listen, please don't beep at me. I told Google to play me some Christina Aguilera, and it did. And I was like, cool, whatever comes up is what I'm meant to hear this morning. So most of Christina Aguilera's music is really bumping, like has a great vibe, has great energy, all this stuff, right? And so this song played, and it was kind of a slow song, and I was like, really? I needed something to, you know, get my juices flowing and get me excited, right? And let me just tell you guys, it's so crazy how the universe operates. Because the song is Reflection from the movie Mulan, the live action movie Mulan, which by the way we watched a couple of months ago. Oh, it was like the first week of January. So good. I've never seen the real, not the real, the animated version, almost said the cartoon version, the animated version of Mulan. I don't know, it just never really interested me. I'm not into warrior type stuff. I don't know, like, that can't be true because I've seen Brave and I like that, so I don't know. But anyway, it just never really interested me. But we watched it. We watched the live action one, and it was so good. But anyway, this song is basically about how she has to be someone that she's not to be accepted, and when will her reflection match who she is inside. I feel like I've been going through that transition and that transformation for like 2 dadgum years. And I don't think it ever stops, right? I'm just hopping back on my phone just to make sure that I'm not missing any comments or anything because Facebook is silly. Um, but anyway, I'm just gonna leave this right here so I can make sure I don't miss anything. Um, And so, again, the transition, the transformation never stops, right? Like once we kind of get on that path, it's like never ending. And that's good. That's great. That's awesome. We're always changing and growing and all of those things. And that's so exciting. Um, yeah. So that song was exactly what I needed this morning. Exactly what I needed. So it was really good. It made me really feel excited to jump on and talk with you guys. So, okay, welcome to today's live. I know I've given you all kinds of information and we haven't even really dug into anything yet. So here's the thing. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee out of my big giant Friends mug that my husband bought me at Five Below, and I love it so much. It's so cute. Um, oh, and look, it says Friends on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit slower. I'm going to be more in flow this morning, talking about our topic of the day. The topic of the day is dealing with toxic family members. And it's so interesting because originally I was going to jump on and talk about imposter syndrome because I know that's something that most women, most people in general struggle with when they are starting something new, getting into new things, changing and growing, and all of that. And that imposter syndrome can creep in. And I know it's a super important subject, and I 100% plan to talk about it, maybe even this week, because I know it's so important and I know it's so needed. But over the last 2 days, I can't tell you how many times it popped up in my feed or in groups or just wherever talking about toxic family members. And that is a very touchy subject. I think that's one of the first places that, or one of the last places, women who are, growing and changing and learning to stand up for themselves, or not even learning to stand up for themselves, right? Because I think most of us, in this group at least, are pretty good at that. But then, our insecurities and our fears and our unworthiness that we might feel shows up. And it seems like that is the place that it shows up more significantly. Um, So I definitely feel like that's what we need to talk about today. And so I have a bunch of notes here. Um, but real quick, I am gonna go, I'm gonna breathe a little bit more. I'm gonna go a little bit slower when I talk today because I was reflecting on my own self, and noticing that when I go live, when I have conversations sometimes with certain people, I don't think it's everyone, right? Like my best friend or my mom or my sister-in-law, my sister, like I can talk to them and be truly myself and just take my time and all of those things. But for some reason, when I jump on live or, talk to people that um, I am nervous around or feel like we're on different playing fields, if you will, which is so silly, right? Like I am worthy just as much as they are worthy. So, but in the world, we have a natural hierarchy, and I put natural because it's not natural. But like it's embedded in our brains, the hierarchy. And so when I get around people that I perceive are above me, I rush myself and I hurry up and get to the point. But again, it also shows up in my lives because I don't want to take up too much space. I don't want to, I need to shrink myself down into this box. You know, and that's so silly, right? Like, I've been on here 11 minutes. If you guys don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. Like, it's okay. You can keep scrolling, or you can pause, or you can come back, or you can fast forward when it's over, or whatever. Whatever you guys decide is right for you. Um, and so I, I have decided today that I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to shrink myself. I'm not going to hurry up. I'm going to say the things that I need to say. God, I feel like, is always with me and guiding me. And if He is putting a message on my heart that I need to get out, then that's what I got to do, guys. I'm just here to say the things, I'm here to be the messenger. Um, and so, yeah, that's something that I realized about myself. So this live is probably going to be a little long. Um, it is what it is. I hope that you take from it what you need, and I hope that hopefully it shifts something inside of you. Um, we'll see. Okay, so there is a slight shift coming in the group and in my business. And I keep calling it a shift, but and it is in a way, but essentially, so I was on a coffee chat with a woman a couple months ago. And I meet women all the time, right? Like I meet people through these groups and things like that all the time. And I was on a call with her and she asked me the most insane, profound question. And it seems so silly. Like it's not really that profound, but it was for me. And she said, "What kind of people do you normally attract?" And I was like, "Oh, I've never thought of that before." And that was so interesting to me. I thought about it for a long while, and I attract people that are similar to me. And and I really dug and dug and dug to figure out what the common thread of all of my favorite people to talk to and work with and hang out with are. And one of the common threads with all of those incredible women is they are dealing with and recovering from and sorting through the repercussions of a past toxic relationship. It sucks. And I know it's a touchy subject and it's really hard to talk about. Um, but that's, something that so many women have been through and we don't talk about it enough. We are always told to, okay, it's time to pick yourself back up. It's time to move forward. It's time to get going. And what we do a lot of times is we shove all the hurt and the trauma and the toxicity down and we don't ever deal with it, right? And then it shows up in other ways. It shows up in our work. It shows up in our new relationships. It shows up in the way we parent our children. It shows up in our relationships with our family. It shows up all the time, and we don't even realize it. Um, so when she asked me that, and I realized that, and then like a week later, maybe even like 2 days later, I don't even remember what the timeline is now. I did a podcast episode with Mindy Henderson. Some of you here may know her, maybe you don't. Um, and she has a podcast called The Truth About Things That Suck. And she got me to talk about my own traumatic toxic relationship that I left, and kind of how that all came about. And that was earth shattering for me because I was like, oh my God, I think, and I've had this download several times from God that I'm supposed to help women who have been in that situation, who have left it. They've had the audacity, they are bold, they're fearless, they've had the guts to leave these relationships, but they're still dealing with the aftermath and the hangover of it, and they're still recovering and coming out of that. Um, I, I left my own relationship, I think it was almost 18 years ago. Um, and my youngest son in that relationship turned 18 last year. Um, and so it is insane because I feel like him turning 18 and having to, or not having to deal with that party, on a significant basis anymore was really freeing to me. Really, really, really freeing to me, and has really freed me up to be more of who I am. And I don't want that for anyone else, right? I don't want anyone else to have to wait until they are disconnected from that person kid wise, or any other way. So we're going to be talking about women recovering from toxic relationships because, um, and here's the thing, like, we get in those relationships typically because we're dealing with some stuff from before that. Um, and I'm not saying that anyone is at fault, and we are not victims. I mean, we may have been victimized, but we are not going to be victims any longer. We're going to take control of our lives, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to heal from all that baloney, which is the nice way of saying BS. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to freaking live our lives and be bold and fierce and amazing humans that love fiercely, right? We're going to heal our hearts so that we can love fiercely again. Um, and and step into who we're called to be. And um we most of you here in this group, um I asked this question the other day. Most of you guys. I always say you guys, okay? So don't ever take that as like, we're not guys, we're ladies, whatever. I always say you guys. Mostly I say y'all. Because I'm from Texas. But most of y'all want to be entrepreneurs, start your own businesses, launch them, grow them, and all of those things. And what I have found for myself, at least, and I think this is true of most women overall, but specifically women who are overcoming the toxic relationship stuff, is that we are really good at emulating other people. I'll let that sit there for a second. We're really good at emulating other people. And so we look around for what's the best way to do this? How do I do this? How do I do a live? How do I do a podcast? How do I show up? How do I create this website? How do I do all these things? And because we are so used to ignoring our gut and our intuition, we start to look around to see what other people are doing and how they're doing it and how they're successful, and we continue not trusting ourselves and not trusting who we are, and we continue to not be our whole true selves in our businesses, and we just continue on that path of emulating other people so that we can get that validation that um, that nod like, yeah, girl, you got it. You're doing good. You're doing it right. And the truth of the matter is that you were created with so many unique gifts and talents and skills and desires and dreams and every single thing inside of you, every quality, even everything that you think is a detriment to you, even the qualities that you deem bad, even the qualities that you think that you wish you could change about yourself, those were put in there for a reason, ladies. Those were put in there for a reason. You have them inside of you because God gave you a true, unique purpose that is only for you, and only in your way can you serve and show up for others in the way God meant for you to. You can only change the lives God is meaning you to change by being your whole true self. And that's a tangent I didn't plan on going on. So here we are. Um, and so we're going to be overcoming our past. We're going to be dealing with all that stuff so that we can step into our true purpose, live up to our greatest potential, and serve the world in our unique way. Okay? That's what we're doing. Hey, Monica. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm on a ramble this morning, girl. So catch what you want, catch what you can, and, come back later to the rest because I'm just spewing all kinds of goodness this morning. Okay. So that is the direction um, that the group and my business is headed in, and I'm so excited about it. And here's the thing. Here's something real quick that I want to mention. Excuse me, coffee burp. Um, it's not new, right? Like it's not a new direction. It's just a clarification of who I'm serving. It's being spoken out loud for the first time. It's not new at all, right? Like these are the people that I've been attracting. These are the people that I've been helping. And so I just want to do more of that and getting that clarity and clarification that I can utilize to help serve more women just like you. So if you know of anyone that needs this, that this sounds like, please add them to the group. I would love to be a part of their life and help them step into their greatest self, their whole true self. Okay, so finally going to get into what our topic of the day is. We are talking about toxic family members, and I know that this is a hot button subject because I actually have a question about this in my Audacity quotient quiz, which if you have not taken it, you can. I think, yes, the link is in the announcements. There's a graphic there, and you can click on there and take that quiz if you deem yourself worthy of it. It's the Audacity Quotient quiz, and really it basically helps you figure out if you are audacious enough or if you're too audacious, right? Okay, so there are people who don't want you to have boundaries, speak up for yourself, not do what you want you to do, or be strong enough to sense guilt trips and things like that. And sometimes those people are our family members, or sometimes they're your partner's family members, right? So how the heck do we deal with them? Are you ready? So simple. It's simple, not necessarily easy, okay? But it's really simple. You handle them the same way that you would handle anybody else. Just because they're family doesn't mean that they get a free pass to treat you like crap. That's a true story. That's a true story. So, how do we deal with people who treat us like crap or are toxic or don't support us, aren't in our energy for a positive purpose? Okay. Well, first of all, we set boundaries. I know, boundaries. I should really do a live about boundaries. I did a podcast with Becky Williams. She's in this group about why can't I say words back to back that have the same letter? Why? About boundaries. Um, and I think it was really good. But basically, uh, setting up boundaries for how you expect to be treated, right? And sticking to those boundaries. Kind of drawing the line in the sand and saying, you can do that crap over there to whoever is going to allow you to do that. But once you cross this line, that's it for us. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to entertain it. And I'm not going to be around it. Those are the boundaries you have to set. And you would set those boundaries for anyone else that comes in your space and disrespects you, mistreats you, um, or does any of those things, right? And so just because they're family does not give them a free pass again. And here's the thing, you get to set these boundaries as um, a show of love and respect to yourself, right? If you don't love and respect yourself, no one else is going to either, right? Because they're seeing you negotiate with yourself about what's important to you, about what your boundaries are, and things like that. And if you always negotiate those with yourself to allow other people to treat you badly, then then they're going to know that, oh, it's fine, I can just do whatever I want because they don't respect themselves. They don't say this in their head, right? Like, usually people that act like that are pretty primitive. They don't have those conversations with themselves, right? But they notice, they sense it, they get it. Um, and then they know that they can take more advantage of you and more advantage of you. So your first priority is always safety and security of you. Period. All day long. End of story. Your number one priority is safety and security of yourself before anyone else, before your kids, before your spouse, before your mom, before your dad, before your sister, before anyone else. Your safety and security is the most important. And that's the one that we're talking about right now, right? Is if you don't feel safe and secure in a space, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to put up with it. No one gets to treat you badly, period. Family member or not. Got it? Okay. So, and then your second priority is your spouse and your children, your partner and your children. And here's the thing, what we do a lot of times is we're like, well, you know, if they ever talk like that to my kid, that's when I'll set my foot down. Why? Why are we waiting for that? Why are we showing our kids that it's okay to sacrifice ourselves, but if it comes to our kid, then that's the time that we're going to stand up to this person. Freak that. Freak that. Teach your kids that they can stand up for themselves. If they're in a position where they are not supported, they don't feel secure, they don't feel safe, teach them to stand up for themselves because you are standing up for yourself. Okay? Don't put yourself on the back burner and your partner and your children above you, or not above. I don't think any of us are above each other. But don't put them more important than you, right? Your safety and security, your um, confidence, your safety and security, that's the best way I can say it, is the most important thing. Show your kids that their safety and security is the most important thing to them as well. And you can do that by making sure that you have boundaries and you take care and you protect yourself. Okay. If they're treating you badly, why wouldn't they treat your family, the rest of your family badly? Your job is to protect them, but number 1, your job is to protect you. You can't protect them if you're not protecting you. Does that make sense? Okay. And so I think it's a little bit easier for us when it's our family to deal with it because it's like, well, that's my family and I can stand up for myself to my family. But it gets a little bit dicey, a little bit cloudy, a little bit muddy when we talk about our spouse's family. Raise your hand if you have ever been in a situation where someone from your spouse's family has treated you not so kindly, and you talk to your spouse about it, and they're like, well, it's my family. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to show up. I have to be there. I have to deal with this. Cool. But that doesn't mean you have to. They get to make whatever decision that they want to make. They get to make any decision that they want to make. And it's their responsibility to protect themselves and protect their safety and security with their family. They have to learn to speak up for themselves. But you don't have to wait for that. You can put up the boundary and say, that's fine. I totally understand where you're coming from. You don't want to hurt your family. I get it. But my job is to protect my safety and security. I have to remove myself from the situation. If you're not going to say anything, that's totally fine, but I'm not going to subject myself to being in this space with these people. I'm not going to do it. I know that sounds so hard, right? But I've done it. I've done it before, and not specifically to anyone in my current reality, but we have had to make some adjustments and you know do things and say things because we're not going to allow certain people to behave in the way that they usually like to behave. We're not going to allow our kids around it, and we're not going to subject ourselves to it because we don't deserve that. Like, we're loving, gracious people, and we want, the absolute best for everyone, and um, we want to support everyone. But because you're going through something hard is not an excuse for you to treat anybody like poop, like crap. Right? And so we have to be the person that's willing to stand up. And I'll tell you this. People have stood up to me before and been like, I'm not putting up with this. And you know what that did for me? What that did for me is make me realize that maybe there was something I wasn't dealing with. Maybe I don't want to say something wrong with me because I hate the idea of that. There was nothing wrong with me. There was shit I needed to heal. There was stuff I needed to deal with in order to be the loving person that I naturally am. I had to I had to be told, "Hey, this is not okay for you to treat people like this," so that I could then realize like, "Oh, I might need to do some work on myself." And then realize like, "Oh, I needed healing from some bad crap that's happened so that I can step naturally into the loving person that I am. I am a loving, giving person. I think overall, the majority of humans, although it doesn't feel like it right now in the world, but overall, and this is, I actually have a planned live for this too. It's all about perspective. Um, I think the majority of us are loving, giving, you know, want to help, supportive, good people. And I think a lot of times when we show up badly or mistreating or crappy or whatever adjective you want to use there, is because we have healing that needs to be done. But if no one ever stands up to that person who's treating people like crap, they're never going to get the help that they need. They're never going to heal the trauma that they have experienced in order to be the person they actually really want to be, right? A lot of times that stuff is um it's defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. We just want to be heard and seen. And trust me, I have been there. I've done it. I've been the super freaking butt face. I have been that person. But someone standing up to me and saying, I'm not going to put up with being treated like that was some of the catalyst to get me to this point of healing myself so that I can step into the greatest version of myself. So it's up to you. You got to do it. I know it sucks. Um, but you'll feel so much better afterward. So much better afterward. You will feel empowered and you will feel protected and safe and secure and loved by you. And that is the most important thing, that you are protected by you. Um, okay, let's see. I have my notes here and I'm kind of skipping around a little bit. Oh, I want to mention real fast. If your partner asks you, "Come on, can you just play along to keep the peace and yada yada?" I know that your partner loves you and cares about you and cares about their family and they don't want to, get caught in the middle, and it's very stressful to be the one caught in the middle. I totally know that. But here's the thing, if someone is asking you to sacrifice your peace to keep the peace for them, I think you should have a conversation about how you want love to show up in a different way for you. Because they're not realizing it. Okay, I'm not going to say that they don't love you. That's not love. Well, that's and that, but that's true. But but it's not because they're intentionally not loving you, right? It's because they're not realizing that they're not showing up and they're not showing love to you in that moment, right? They're in self-preservation, self-protection mode at that point. Okay. So just have a gentle, loving conversation about it. Because that's not love showing up. That's self-protection showing up for that person. And you've got to be able to say, hey, look, you're asking me to sacrifice my peace so that you can keep your peace, and that's not really fair. Monica said, my husband does have my back. We left a family get together before. We didn't say anything, just left. Not going to fight, but not going to tolerate it either. Amen, girl. It's been forever in the very beginning, but it showed we wouldn't put up with it either. Exactly. Yes, because you get what you put up with, right? If you continually put up with mistreatment, guess what? You're going to continue to get mistreated. That is a law of the universe, okay? I wrote it right now. It might actually be a law of the universe. I have no idea. um, I'm so grateful my husband stood up for me to his family years ago because I know it's how we've been married for over 20 years. He respects me and they do too. See, there you go. Exactly. You got to set those boundaries because no one else is going to do it for you. And that's the bottom line. Okay. Um, that is all I have about not toxic relationships. No, that's like a whole unboxing. Um, but about toxic family members right now. If you guys have any questions, I would love for you to drop them in the comments. Maybe you guys have a specific situation that you've dealt with and you're not totally sure how to handle it. Even if you're catching this on the replay, I would love to, help and help you figure out how you can kind of tackle the issue that you might be having. Um, okay, so that part is over. Now I'm going to tell you about something super, super exciting and special. I am finally, finally launching a group program. I'm so excited about it. We are going to do, excuse me, coffee burps. Jeez Louise. We are going to work through, God, my hair's so frizzy. We're going to work through the Live with Audacity framework, okay? And this is something that uh, I kind of put together a year ago. I just never I never felt confident enough to launch it really into the world. But I know that there are so many women that need it, that can use it, that can utilize it to grow in themselves, to step into the person that they're supposed to be. Okay, and so the way that this will work, it's going to be 8 weeks, and we're going to have our own private Facebook group. And what we're going to be dealing with in there is releasing our past, because that thing likes to follow us around like a shadow. And sometimes it gets in the way. And ugh. So, your past conditioning and the trauma you've experienced all come into play when you get in your own way, and when you second guess yourself, when you think even for a half a second, oh, I can't do that. That's your past being like, do 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 do. What are you thinking? You can't possibly do that. Someone 20 years ago told you that you would be bad at that, or that no one would want to listen to you, or maybe it's just a thought that you had because you weren't heard one day by a family member or something like that. All that stuff comes, our whole past comes into play to try to keep us safe and keep us protected and like keep us from putting ourselves out there and risking that safety that we've been talking about. Okay. And so, what we're going to do in the 8 weeks is work through some of that so that we can really start to embrace our present, where we are right now, where we can be really authentic with ourselves, be our whole true selves, which I say that a lot and I'm like a broken record. It is what it is. Like, it's true. When you step into who you really are, and you have the audacity to love her and show up as her as often as possible, shenanigans, your freedom just like goes through the roof. Okay. Oh, can y'all tell? I had a professor one time that was like, I just love the creative way that you cuss without cussing. um and yeah, so that's what I do on lives, because it's just inappropriate. But anyway, see, that's a thought. That's a thought that I have. Hmm. I could probably dig into that a little bit more. But you are you for a reason, and you're here in this moment for a reason. And so the section of embracing our present is going to get us to really accept who we are right here, right now, and be really freaking proud of that and show up as that amazing human. Because, newsflash, God doesn't make mistakes, boo. Okay? He doesn't make mistakes. You were created on purpose, literally on purpose. Even if you might have been an accident, even if you might be the result of something crazy or traumatic or something, God had a purpose for your life, I promise. So we're going to be accepting the person that He created us to be. And then it's not a faith based thing, but that's what I believe. And so it's infused everywhere. Um, you can take it or leave it. I don't shove anything down anyone's throat. I am me. I am my whole authentic self. That's what I believe. And it is what it is, right? So you got to respect it if you're going to be here. Um, but I don't expect you to believe exactly that I do, because I feel like that's what makes the world go round, right? Is that we all have different perspectives and perceptions and beliefs and things like that. So take it or leave it. It's fine either way for me. And embody your future. That's the next thing that we're going to work on in this 8 week coaching group. Um, Figuring out exactly who you want to be, and then start pulling her out of there and embodying who that is right now, so that you can so that you can level up faster, right? Because when you start to embody the person that you really want to be, that you see yourself as, you get there so much faster. And here's the thing. What we usually do is we think about the future and we're like, "Oh, I want to be her. I want to be her. I want to be her." But we don't do anything right now to get to that point. We just Hope is not a strategy. I know you guys have heard that before, or I hope you have. Hope is not a strategy. You can't just envision the future and hope that one day she's going to come about and be present here, in real life. We actually have to do some work, and we have to actually start doing the things that she would do so that we can step into her, right? Yeah, we want to show up in the present and enjoy who we are now. But in order to become who we know we're meant to be, we have to be intentional about who she will be and be her right now. It's so exciting. That is the funnest part of my job is helping women step into that person. It's so fun. It's fun for me to do for myself. It's fun for me to help you ladies do it, y'all. Okay, this group coaching program is going to be for you if you feel like maybe you can't quite get the traction going on in your life, um, and and it's not because okay. Sometimes we're like, I am amazing. I got it together. I am bold and I'm going to do the things. And if you're anything like me, you're really enthusiastic at the beginning. And then you're like, well, I just don't really know. You know what that is? That's a trauma response. It is. Because then we start to second guess ourselves. And then we start to get in our heads. And then we start to be like, oh, I'm so scared. What are people going to think or whatever? And so that keeps us from getting that traction, right? It keeps us from showing up. It keeps us from doing the things that we know would get us to our goals, but we're not doing them for some reason. Why are we not doing them? I don't know. We're going to dig into that. Okay, so if that's you and you're like, what the heck is holding me back? What's going on up here? This program is for you. I promise. Um, and it's not because you're not driven enough. It's not because you know, you, it's not because you're not driven enough, and it's not because you're not committed enough, and it's not because, you don't have enough willpower, and it's not any of those things. You have thoughts in your brain that originally came from a place of keeping you safe. But now those thoughts no longer serve you, right? So we got to dig into what are they? And trust me, I've done a lot of this work. And even just at the beginning of this live, I told you guys about how I get really nervous to do a live sometimes because I'm like, okay, okay, bye, thanks. Because I feel like I need to shrink myself. Well, that's one of the things that I am working through, right? Is understanding that I do get to take up space because I am worthy because God made me on purpose. Um and 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 if you want to be in that space, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. Like it, that's not for me to decide. That's not for me to figure out. My job is to show up as authentic as I possibly can because I know the message is going to reach the right person when I do that. Um yeah, so we're going to dig into our thoughts. Ooh, Monica, yes, girl, I would love to have you in there. Okay. And so, what was I going to say? I got sidetracked by your comment, Monica. Yeah, so it's going to be a private Facebook group. And private Facebook group. It's going to be 8 weeks. And I'm so excited about it because it's going to be like really intense for 8 weeks. And I don't mean intense like you're going to have to spend every waking moment doing this course or this program or whatever, but it's going to be intense in that we're going to make a lot of progress really quickly. Really quickly. Okay. We're going to have daily prompts in there. You can either journal them or you can just, respond in the private group to the prompts. Um, And then we are going to have weekly training sessions. I'm going to show up live for you or post a video. I haven't totally figured that part out yet. Probably a little bit of both, depending on time constraints. And so I'll give you a weekly training of what we're talking about in that week and kind of how it applies to the program. And then we're also going to have weekly mastermind calls with hot seat coaching. So excited about that because those are so fun, so fun. Okay. And so really, really, I just need to ask you, are you going to stay stuck in this place that you've been in for who knows how long? Are you going to keep being the same person over and over and over and over again? You're going to keep getting in your own way. You're going to keep wondering, sorry, my nose is running. Thanks, Texas, and your allergy riddenness. Or are you gonna freaking figure out what's going on up here that's keeping you stuck and keeping you from fulfilling your God-given purpose? Because we all have one, and it's time, boo. It's time to get out of your own way. Take that shadow person, whoever it is, pick her up and move her over here and be like, bye, boo. Have you ever heard of, so like, I know Beyonce, I know a lot of people name their ego or whatever, or, their, whatever you want to call it, their ego. They name them Karen, Pam, whatever. But Beyonce does it a little bit opposite. She, she is Beyonce, and then her stage name is Sasha Fierce. And I think that's so fun. I want you over this 8 weeks to be Sasha Fierce. I want you to be the lively, bold, incredible, amazing, purposeful, called woman that you are meant to be. And that's what this 8 weeks is going to help you with. I don't want you to stay stuck for 2 more years, 5 more years, 10 more years, and wonder what the hell has held you back from being who you know you are called to be. And let me just tell you that it has taken me 18 years to get to this point, and I freaking don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. Let's get this done in 8 weeks. Newsflash, you're not going to be done. Oh. But I am going to teach you how to do it on your own after the 8 weeks, right? So you'll always have this framework that you can come back to anytime that you're feeling like you're getting in your own way again. Okay. So, any questions about what I have blurred out so far? Okay. So, what's the price? How much does it cost, Melissa? Because we know that we're all price conscious, beautiful humans here, and I get it. It's $4.97. Guys, $4.97 for 8 weeks of group coaching, which is amazing because that's $62 a week. And let me just tell you that every single week in our weekly mastermind call with hot seat coaching, everyone is going to get a chance to talk every single week in our call. So essentially, you're getting one-on-one time with me every week plus the program. It's not one-on-one, it's one to everyone, right? But I'll hot seat coach you every single week for $62 a week. That's insane price. And so again, you'll learn this entire framework. That way, when it's over, you can take it and apply it to your life anytime you need to. And yeah, so that's what I got. The sooner you sign up, the sooner I can get you in the private group and start your journey. Doors will officially close on Saturday, March 20th. Next week is spring break for my family, so I will be available all week, but I just won't be accessible as I normally am. So if you're thinking about getting in on this, get in on this stat right away. Because I want you to be able to take advantage of it, okay? If you're thinking about it at all, let's chat. We can hop in the DMs or we can jump on a call and see if it's right for you. Because here's the thing, not a sales tactic. It is my greatest priority to, and I try really hard to honor this always, is my integrity. And so if we jump on a call, we hop in the DMs and we discover that it's not really the right fit for you, then that's okay, right? Like no harm, no foul, no hurt feelings or anything like that, right? Like I can help you find someone that would be a better fit, or a different program, but my main priority is helping you get the hell out of your own way so that you can actually step into the person that you're meant to be. Um, I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to tell you that if you sign up by this Saturday, what's the date? I don't know. I don't even know. What is Saturday, guys? Oh, it's the 13th. Okay, if you sign up by Saturday at midnight, the 13th, Saturday the 13th. Luckily, it's not Friday the 13th. If you sign up by Saturday the 13th at midnight, you're going to get a free 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me to use anytime during your 8 weeks. So the calls that we're going to be doing in the mastermind group, I haven't even named this thing yet, are going to be with everyone. It's going to be a group call every week on Tuesdays. And so we'll have everyone in there, but if you sign up by Saturday, you'll get a 30-minute one-on-one, just the two of us, call to use anytime during your 8 weeks. If there's something that you come up with and you're like, I need help sorting this out, I'm your girl, and we can chat about it. I think that's all the information that I wanted to give you. I have a lot of notes here, and I don't know if I've gone through them all. So give me like 2 seconds while I scan through them and just make sure that I got all of the highlights out. I do have a payment plan. I forgot to mention that. Just hop in the DMs and we can chat about that. I think that's it, boo. I think that's it. So let's talk about it. If you are interested at all, let's talk about it, because this window is only open for what, 10 days. We're going to get started on Monday, March 22nd. Yes. We'll do our first group coaching call on the 23rd, and because we have baseball every single other night of my life, not really, not on the weekend at this point yet. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so Tuesday nights will be our calls. We'll get started on Monday the 22nd. So again, you'll have until Saturday the 20th, just so I can, start getting everything prepared for you. Let me know. Let me know. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's chat. That is all I have for you today. I know this was a really long live. I appreciate you if you stayed here. I appreciate you if you catch the replay. I hope that you can use this information about dealing with toxic family members and go forth and prosper in your life and in your relationships. I love you all so much. Have a great day.